Today we talk to Bellator and bare knuckle veteran Josh the Hammer Burns. He makes his anticipated BKFC debut on December 11th at BKFC 15 against Chris Sarro, and it starts right now. If you don't mind, Josh, because it's been a minute, man, tell us, how have you been? I know that I guess you've gone through 3 camps, right, already this year.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about that. Talk about what that's been like. What's it been like training through COVID and all that stuff?
Well, like the first fight was obviously a huge letdown with Kansas shutting it down.
Yep.
I ended up getting COVID probably 3 weeks after that. Got every damn symptom you could have, which is pretty wild. It lasted like 5 days, and then I tested clear like at the 10th day. Went right back into camp. We're supposed to, Nate had reached out to us, asked if we wanted to fight. I think it was like at the end of May or something. And it was only like a 3-week notice. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm down. So, and then other parties turned it down because they didn't think they were in shape. And then, had a couple other things go. And then we finally got the one in Kansas. And then obviously Shu got COVID himself, So it's just kind of been kind of just a barrage of things, left and right. So, and then when I was down there, Dave offered to fight with Sarro, and asked if that was something I was looking forward would take, and absolutely, I was pretty stoked about it. So now we're here. Now we're fighting Chris Sarro, and should be a fun and exciting night.
Has training affected? I mean, obviously, it kind of has for everybody, but since it's been a minute, like, has COVID affected your training in any way since all this stuff happened?
No, man, I'm pretty blessed. I've fallen the lines here in the state of Michigan. Michigan's kind of a little bit of a fucking crap shit show. So our governor's a little bit just a little crazy. So she shuts everything down, but I'm blessed just the fact that I'm a professional athlete and all my gyms and facilities stayed open to me. So, obviously go through the proper protocols, before entering and all that stuff, temperatures and all that. But it also helps the fact that I had it previously. So very minimal chance of contracting it again. So, and everything's been good, man. Everything's been good. I mean, with Shu, obviously, had a certain approach with that fight. I was fighting, walking around about 280, 285. Fighting Sarro, the guy fights, I think, at cruiserweight and at heavyweight, but I mean, he's a pretty small man to begin with, so I think he'll put on some weight for this, about 230, 235 is my understanding. So obviously the only thing with this camp is I've obviously reduced in size, reduction in weight just to make myself a little faster. I mean, I'm already faster than he is to begin with, but I want everything to just click. So I just brought everything down, and going to come into the fight anywhere between 255, 265. And I was 285 for the Shu fight, so good 20, 30 pounds.
You mentioned you were excited to take this fight. What excites you about this fight with Chris?
Well, to be fair, it's an easy fight. I mean, there's never an easy fight, of course, but when I look at it, I look at stylistically speaking and look at his background, watch him, and just to be honest with you, it's just about as just as confident, if not more confident, than I was with the Shu fight. Shoemaker's a very basic fighter, a very simple fighter, and so is Chris. They got a lot of good talk and they get a little hype behind them, but if you actually look at his body of work and watch his movement, watch his speed, his power, and who he's fought. I mean, he's not fought a winning fighter on the professional level yet. And, he goes by the moniker of Golden Gloves, and I won 3 Golden Gloves. But my Golden Gloves were in Detroit in Southern California, where there was 30, and this SoCal, I think it was like 46 people that entered the tournament. And it's just a process. And, I don't know how many guys were in his, Golden Gloves, but I mean, it's where is he, Maine or something like that. So,
yeah,
I mean, and he fought super heavyweight. Any boxer that fights in the USA circuit for Golden Gloves knows that super heavyweight is where the chuds go. I mean, that's the guys that don't move, the guys that, they're just, it's just not a competitive division. And there's also maybe one or two guys that enter tournament time. So it's not a huge accolade to hang your hat on and be proud of. And I mean, anyone that calls himself Golden Gloves, you better show up and have some fucking hands. And, to date, I've not seen that from him. And, never underestimate your opponents, of course. So obviously I'm taking this super serious and train pretty damn hard. But, I'm not impressed with what I see. And I'm excited for the, fight night.
You mentioned, obviously, he's 2-0 in BKFC. You have a ton of bare knuckle experience, especially, over on the other side of the pond there. What do you think that you're going to be able to exploit out of him in this fight?
Well, obviously, I can just say whatever because it's what I do. It's not really what he does. At the end of the day, he fought McAllister, who I know. John's just got a fucking heart of gold. The guy just will fight anybody. But John's 5'9". He's not a heavyweight. He's not even really a light heavyweight. The guy, is just getting into the game, and that wasn't, and I love John, but it's not a test. And he's getting excited over, beating John, and John damn near knocked him on his ass when you watch the fight. And then he fought another guy. Oh goodness, I forget his name, but the guy from Michigan. And I know the guy, and God bless him. Good guy, but he don't like hands. Even MMA, he didn't like to get hit. So what in his right mind thought that he would come to bare knuckle and fight and be productive is beyond me. But you also see these guys, they got no heart. They quit. That guy sat on his ass and quit. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get hurt.
Victor Jones.
Victor Jones sat on his ass. God bless him, no disrespect to him, but at the end of the day, you're either a warrior or you're a bitch. And you're going to sit on your ass. You get hit. You didn't like how you got hit. Sit on your ass, wipe your nose, look at your opponent, sit there in the, with your hands on your knees, just like, okay, wait for the count. All right, I'm done. He just came for a payday. That's what he did. And, Chris Sarro is, pumping himself up on, fucking nothing. I mean, you're standing yourself up on a 3-legged chair. So, at the end of the day, he's going to have to fight me. And, I'm nothing. I'm a complete different beast. I'm telling you right now, I'm a different beast than any of these heavyweights. I'd fucking run through fucking Joey Beltran. I watch him fight in person. Nothing against them, but I watch them. And I watch these other heavyweights. And these guys, nobody fights the way that I fight. Nobody pressures the way I pressure. Nobody throws punches and bunches. They're 1-2s, looking for the big punch. And, these guys are just, it's sad, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but at the end of the day, I just got to speak truth. And at the end of the day, a lot of these guys, they just don't have it. And they might have the toughness, the grittiness, and, to get cracked and keep going. But at the end of the day, I'm nothing like any of these heavyweights have seen. I mean, from the beginning of the BKFC to now, nobody fights the way I fight. Nobody pressures the way I pressure, and nobody hits like I hit. I guarantee I'm probably the hardest hitter in the division. That's a fact. So, and I get to prove that. I'm going to make quick work of Chris Sarro, and no disrespect to him, but I'll make quick work of that young cat and let him know that he needs to go back down where he has the abs and he can look pretty. And fight some guys that not my level, and we'll just go from there. But I mean, I'm looking. I want a title shot, and I know Shoemaker got the fight with Godbeer, which, to be honest with you, it really just depends on who shows up and who sets up. Who pushes their will, because it's a good fight. But Mark's a very straightforward fighter, and he's going to hit you, and he's going to hit you hard, just like any other heavyweight. And then Shoemaker, I've just never been impressed with the way he fights him. A couple of my boys fought him. They all, say the same thing. You don't hit hard. And, he got that one lucky shot with Prendel. And after that, every fight's been a decision, a split decision, and, close. And, so it is what it is. But, yeah. So anyways, I'll send it back to you.
Well, I was going to ask too, and you already kind of brought it up. I mean, there's 4 heavyweight fights on this card. Godbeer, Shoemaker, obviously. You and Chris, Bobo Bannon, Lewis Rumsey, and then Quentin Henry and Jason Fan. So, there's a lot of attention on the heavyweight division on this card.
Yeah.
You know, I imagine, you know, especially with BKFC still growing, you know, that's 8 of these guys on the card. There's probably a good chance that you guys are probably going to like run, you know, into each other quite a bit. So, I mean, I imagine, is this something you're going to kind of keep your eye on, you know, these other heavyweight fights?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, I think Bobo, good guy. You know, I don't not met him personally. I've offered to train with him to help him out with Smith Brothers, you know, because they're, you know, good guys. And I think Bobo's got a lot of work to do. You know, he's just coming up, and
Right.
you know, and I mean, you could break down in the fight with Mike Kyle. I mean, Mike Kyle was whooping that ass until Kyle broke his hand. As soon as Kyle broke his hand, it was a wrap. Kyle didn't know how to. He didn't know how to fucking. He just didn't know how to perform. And I mean, you got broken hand, you only got 2 tools. So, you know, as soon as that happened, it just went to the fact of like, do I just keep getting my ass kicked when I can't, you know, give anything back? And so, but not taking anything away from Bobo. I mean, he needs more experience. Obviously a tough guy. As far as the other guys on the, you know, card, that Fran, I think it's Fan, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He asked if he could train last night with me, come down and spar. He never showed up, but I think I might train with him next week. But we'll see. So I don't know. And then, you know, the Quentin Henry, whatever his name is. I mean, I watched his fight live when he fought, and was sure as fuck not impressed with that. That was just a big guy standing there swinging for the fences. And you know, out of everybody in there, I think you already know, as far as like Shoemaker, I think I run through Shoemaker pretty quick. I'll get him to quit. He's a tough guy. I don't think you're going to knock him out. You know, you never know. He's never really been hit, but I've seen him quit. So you can get him to quit. So my real attention is going to be on Mark. And Mark Godbeer is a friend of mine. You know, we're boys, but we both know, you know, it's probably inevitable we're going to end up crossing knuckles at some point. So it's nothing but respect. But then again, you know, I have the knowledge and the experience that all these people don't have. You know, I've seen what happened in BKB over in Europe. So I know who he fought. I know that I wasn't allowed to fight that guy. They told me he wasn't ready. Oh, no, mate, you can't fight him, mate. I mean, I have all the messages. I mean, I can prove all this. So, and then, you know, Mark gets his first ever BKB fight, and, you know, he fights a guy that they don't want to let me fight. And, you know, it's a good fight. I mean, Mickey Park's a stud. He's got great conditioning, but that's really about it. And, you know, hands and stuff, but, you know, he's not really a true heavyweight. So, and Mark got through that with the win. So, you know, I think the thing is I know Mark wants the title shot. So whether he gets it or I get it, you know, I think it's going to be dependent upon how we perform, you know, here on the 11th. I mean, if it goes to a decision with Shoemaker and it's, you know, a basic Shoemaker fight, that's not exciting. Then you're going to have me, and I truly wholeheartedly believe I'm going to fucking blow this dude's fucking jaw out. And when I get done, he's not going to know. Sarro doesn't know how to fight going backwards. He doesn't know how to get hit. He got hit by a guy that's 5'9" who, you know, is just learning the sport, and he damn near fell. And maybe that was from being off balance, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're going to get that times 10 and then times 100, because I'm going to knock stop. And I'm going to break this kid. I'm going to break him. He's a small man. He's not ready. He's not ready. So he might do great things in the future, but right now it's my time.
So you think that, you know, so between Godbeer and Sam, and then you and Chris, you think whoever kind of has the most impressive performance will probably get the next title shot between the 4 of you?
I mean, I'm hoping, you know, I got a lot to prove, I guess, you know, because if you go with the shit in Europe and the way they did me, you know, it looks like I had losses. I mean, they're clearly an eye poke, clearly a cut. They were not. I've never been hurt, and these guys, you know, bad blood, whatever. But on their end, they take all my fights offline, and then they only put up these things. And so, at the end of the day, the most experience in the ring that night is going to be the Godbeer. You know, the Godbeer and Shoemaker and myself with Chris. That's the most bare knuckle experience in there. And then obviously Tyler's got some good experience too. But obviously that's not heavyweight. But out of the heavyweights, the most experience that night is those 2 fights. So to me, it only makes sense. The more dominant of the 2 fights should prevail. But you never know. You never know. You don't know what Nate and Dave have, in their minds and what they, how they got things set up. So, I was willing to run through Shoemaker, which nobody's been able to do. But I knew I was going to run through him. And, this fight, I wholeheartedly believe, Chris is, yeah, everybody hits, man. Everybody punches. Every heavyweight punches hard, but it's not, it's the old Rocky saying, it's not how hard you punch, it's how hard you can get punched, keep coming forward. And at the end of the day, he's not proven that. And he's fought nobody. Even his one MMA fight, he seems to be a buddy of his now that holds pads for him. And I mean, not impressive. There's just nothing to his resume. So it's a lot of hype and nothing to back it up. So, I'm hoping that, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he shows up and it's a hell of a fight and we grind that shit out, which I'm ready for. But at the same time, I don't believe that he's prepared for the pressure and the power that he's going to feel. And literally, just like Shoemaker, I'll let you hit me with that little bitch overhand right. But when I smile at you and walk through that bitch, now what? Now what? You got your one-trick pony. And, Sarro, good God. I mean, there's just so much with how he fights and his form and how there's no fluidity, stiff. He's very robotic. He's very amateur is the best way to explain it. Any boxing, all my boxing coaches, my boxing coach, Hamoudi, he's the original Kronk guy, trained with fucking Hearns back in 85. Like he was down there and he's just, I showed him, he's my coach and I show him and he's just like Jesus. He's just so basic. He's just amateurs. These guys, I can't believe his response was, I can't believe who they let be pros nowadays. But that's an old school boxer. So, this ain't boxing. But at the end of the day, I'm just not impressed. And I really think that I'm just going to run through them. So, but we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this fight. I think I speak for a lot of people. I'm looking forward to seeing, a lot of you guys that have crossed over just in general, you and Good John and Godbeer. I'm excited that this sport is expanding and its reach is expanding. And, you're starting to get the more talented guys from these different companies now. And everything is really starting to fall into place. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the heavyweight division. It's really starting to get good, and because I like the bigger guys fighting anyway. It's always someone's fucking getting knocked out. It's just right. I just love that shit. And how did you get hooked up with Kevin Smith and Smith Brothers? Because they really seem to be, he really seems to be kind of getting his own stable of just some really unique, really good guys.
Yeah, no, Kevin's just a real motherfucker. He's real. We met we had the first time when the Shoemaker fight fell through the first time, and he's cool cat, and talked a little bit, and then we hooked up a little bit, talked a little more, and everything just seemed to click. And I've been in the game a long time, so I got a lot of connections. I got a lot of people I know. And when anybody can amplify what I have already, it's always a blessing. And Kevin was able to do that. And so now it's just about giving back and being part of the family. So just like I said, when I was talking about Bobo the other night, I think he's part of Kevin's team as well. So heavyweight. So the first thing I do, hey, maybe I will have to fight you at some point, but I don't give a fuck. Come up, let's train, man. Let's train. Let's get you better. And I mean that's what it's about being a team. Jason Fish, who was going to be heavyweight, but I think he's going to make a splash at cruiserweight, or light heavyweight. He, did a hell of a job. He's been, I've known him for a while. So, it's about just spreading the love, keeping it in the family. And Kevin's real good at just taking care of his own. And even guys that are not part of it, I mean, he just is a genuinely nice guy that loves the sport, and he's going to do what he can for you, and he's a man of his word. If he can do it, he's going to do it. If he can't, he's going to tell you straight up he can't. So, and that, to me, that's a blessing, and that's a real person right there.
100%, man. Where can people, if maybe fans or whatever want to try to contact you, where can they reach you at, man?
Just Facebook, Josh Burns, and Josh Burns, I think 78 on Instagram. So you know me, man. I'm not a glory hound, man. I'm just, I come and
Right.
do the thing and let my hands do the speaking, you know. And I mean, although I did talk a little bit of shit here, but at the end of the day, I guess it's not really talking shit. It's more or less whether it's going to happen, I guess. But I think that I'm going to run through these motherfuckers, and I honestly think that my performance will outshine my boy Mark. And I love Mark. You never know. Mark's got some power. So if Shoemaker's stupid enough to stand in front of him, we might have two great big knockouts. So, but either way, I think it's, you know, Mark and I are both headed to the same goal, you know, and he did win the Valor tournament, and you know, he won that little the BKB, the British title for BKB. It wasn't the world title; it was their British title, which heavyweight we never had. We fucking never had that. When I got the fight, we never had that. So, but you know, they always do little gimmicks to entice people, and Mark was a good name to entice. So that's you know how we brought him over, and I think you know Mark knows how kind of full of shit these guys were. So you know, now it's time to get the big belts, you know, the Police Gazette belt and the BKFC belt. Those are the two best belts in the world right now. And that's I think that's what everybody's going for.
100%, man. Well, like I said, dude, I'm pumped. I'm excited. And Mr. Josh Burns, I appreciate your time, sir.
Yes,
and
sir.
Good luck, man. We're only about 2 weeks out now, something like that. So
yep, about 2 weeks.
Good luck to you, buddy. And can't wait, man.
Right on, brother. Be good.
All right, buddy. Take care.